Hi there, everyone. It's our pleasure to have you on board for another Jamaica Magazine program. I'm Theodore Henry, your guide through today's pages, filled with great features to heighten your awareness and inspire you on a journey to development. So sit back and relax. Our sojourn begins right after this important message.
The Statistical Institute of Jamaica STATIN will be conducting the 2025 Jamaica Survey of Living Conditions JSLC starting August 2025. For over 30 years, PIOJ analysis of JSLC data has helped to shape national policy, including on education, healthcare, and social support. When the JSLC team visits your home, participate. Your voice helps guide real solutions. For more information, visit statinja.gov.jm or WhatsApp Statin at 876-569-1083.
Good day, I'm Twyla Whelan and this is your JS News for Monday, September 15, 2025. Hundreds of Jamaicans have applied for the 2025-2026 Rural Youth Economic Empowerment Program REAP Builder Initiative, which offers entrepreneurial training and other support to young farmers. Ahead of last Friday's deadline, Business and Entrepreneurship Development Manager for the Jamaica 4-H Clubs, Amanda McKenzie, says close to 300 applications had already been received. She tells JS News that the volume of applications reflects a shift in the youth's interest in agriculture, particularly as it relates to incorporating the use of technology in traditional practices. REAP Builder is open to individuals aged 18 to 35 years who are already involved in agriculture and are not formally employed outside of this venture. It is organized by the Jamaica 4-H Clubs in partnership with the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining and the Heart NSTA Trust. Participants will receive mentorship and one-on-one coaching from trainers in specialized sectors of agriculture. Training will also be provided in areas such as livestock and crop production, broiler production, apiculture, fisheries and agri-processing, as well as the business side of the sector. Those who participate will have the opportunity to receive levels 1 and 2 NCT VET certification through the Heart NSTA Trust. Material and equipment worth $100,000 will also be provided for approximately 100 participants to support their agriculture business. Formal training for the REAP Builder will begin in November once the interview process for shortlisted applicants is completed and the selected members of the 2025-2026 cohort are notified. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security is warning against the unauthorized and fraudulent use of the image of Minister Pernell Charles Jr. in employment scams. A statement from the ministry points to 2 TikTok accounts using the handles at @abcore_travel and at purpose_travel_agents, which have falsely published that they are authorized to provide overseas employment opportunities. The posts are made using repurposed videos from the ministry's website and the minister's image to deceive and mislead Jamaicans who are seeking legitimate employment opportunities abroad. An act, the ministry says, is not only unethical but illegal. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security is the sole authority responsible for recruiting farm workers on the government's overseas farm worker programs in Canada. These entities are not listed among the ministry's licensed employment agencies, which are published monthly on its official website and social media pages. Members of the public are urged to always verify the legitimacy of any overseas employment agency by checking the official list of licensed agencies or contacting the Ministry of Labour directly for confirmation. Meanwhile, the statement from the ministry clarifies that the TikTok account using the handle @abcore_travel should not be confused with Abcore Employment Agency, an entity duly licensed to provide only local employment placement services and which uses the TikTok handle abcore.employment. The Ministry of Education is set to roll out a special initiative to attract more men into the teaching profession. This is being done as part of broader efforts to improve outcomes for boys in school. Portfolio Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon made the disclosure at Shortwood Teachers College's 140th anniversary media launch recently.
With our focus on education for boys, Because the reality is, when I look at the numbers, every time the results come out for any exam, the girls are way ahead of our boys.
Beyond male teacher recruitment, the ministry will continue to invest in the professional development of educators across the sector.
Teachers will have more opportunities for reskilling, digital literacy training, and certification to keep them abreast of new technologies, new pedagogical approaches, and global best practices.
At the same time, Dr. Morris Dixon is assuring that classroom modernization remains a priority as it works to ensure that teachers are equipped with the necessary tools to help students succeed. The Water Resources Authority, WRA, has pointed to the continued effects of climate change as a significant threat to Jamaica's water resources and the industries relying on them. Deputy Managing Director Jeffrey Marshall tells JS News that increasingly erratic rainfall patterns and rising sea levels are major concerns.
We're used to the wet season being in May and October and dry season in December to January, February. But now with climate change, you might see, which we've seen before, the rain expected in May didn't come at all. That was in 2015 we had that big drought. The rain expected in May didn't come at all, and that really led to a stressful situation. And so then the rain you expect in October, you might get less of it as that you expect.
Regional shifts in rainfall distribution have been observed, posing a growing threat to agriculture and farming practices across Jamaica. The WRA warns that beyond shifting rainfall patterns, saline intrusion, which is driven by rising sea levels and human activity, poses a growing threat to Jamaica's freshwater aquifers and long-term water availability.
The impact of saline intrusion is something that's always a concern as well. There's both the anthropogenic or human-caused intrusion where people have been overpumping. You see that in the lower Rio Cobre and in lower Clarendon, southern Clarendon. People have been pumping a lot of water, the groundwater there, and that pumping will suck up groundwater coming in. But separate and apart from that human aspect is the sea level rise aspect, where as the sea level rises, then that rise also pushes the saline interface forward, backward into the aquifer. And so the well that might be at one location that was pumping fresh water, the sea level rises, the front is pushed back, and through no fault of its own, there's no more saline water in that well.
He underscores the importance of infrastructure, such as the NWC's artificial groundwater recharge system in Innswood, St. Catherine, in addressing the growing challenges posed by climate change. A monument has been unveiled in Kendall, Manchester in memory of the victims of the Kendall train crash that occurred 68 years ago. On September 1, 1957, a train carrying over 1,600 persons derailed near Kendall, killing 187 people and injuring more than 700. The monument was made possible through a memorandum of understanding signed earlier this year between the Ministry of Culture and the Manchester Municipal Corporation. Minister of Culture Olivia Grange, who led the unveiling, described it as a promise fulfilled, adding that the Jamaica National Heritage Trust has begun the process of declaring the site a national monument based on its historic and archaeological significance.
So the internal research is undertaken, which they have started, and also the establishing of the property ownership and getting approval from those who own the property. The internal approval also includes a declaration designation committee that would oversee this process and approval by the Board of Trustees.
The Kendall rail tragedy is described as the worst disaster in the history of Jamaica's railway operations. Last year, Governor General Sir Patrick Allen, at the request of Minister Grange, officially proclaimed the first day of September each year as the National Day of Remembrance of the victims and survivors of the Kendall railway disaster. And finally, Team Jamaica secured their first 3 medals over the weekend at the 2025 World Athletic Championships, being held in Tokyo, Japan from September 13 to 21. Up to news time, the 1 gold and 2 silver medals had pushed the country to 4th on the medal table. 2 of the medals came in the men's 100-meter race, where Oblique Seville became the world champion, ahead of compatriot Kishane Thompson. 21-year-old Tina Clayton, who is competing in her first senior international championship, secured Jamaica's 2nd silver silver medal in the women's 100-meter final. She was joined in the finals by two other sprint champions, Sharika Jackson and Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price, for whom this was the final individual race of her career. The sprint icon has previously announced her retirement after this season. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness praised the athletes for continuing to carry Jamaica's legacy of excellence at the highest level. And that's it for JS News Today. I'm Twyla Whelan.
Government is actively promoting entrepreneurial growth and economic prosperity as it fosters competitiveness among micro, small and medium-sized enterprises, MSMEs. The goal is to help them thrive and contribute to a stronger, richer Jamaican economy. We are turning the pages now to get some expert advice for business success.
Operating a successful and resilient business is no easy achievement. This is usually driven by the more business savvy, with a passion and a know-how, backed by a system and network that provides valuable support from concept to market. As Jamaica navigates its way to economic independence through entrepreneurial growth and wealth creation, it is important to set our business foundations on firm ground with the guidance available within the various agents of government as well as from successful entrepreneurs.
At times we have to pause, we have to think, we have to reflect, and we also have to plan in terms of the continuity. It's never too late to learn new lessons, never too late to understand the experiences of others. In terms of business surviving, it's never a one-man show. And I always say to persons, there's a reason why you have a marketing personnel, you have someone doing distribution, you have another person doing finances. It's really a team effort. And when you meet up on the hurdles, the bumps, those potholes in the road, it's always that person there to push you beyond.
You have to have grit and grind to move forward. I would say you can move forward by innovation, and you have to back it up with strong management. There's a lot of moving pieces in business. A lot of things are changing, and it's a very dynamic thing. And what you start out doing, or what you think you'll be doing, you have to do a lot more. So, definite grit and grind to get through, and innovate to move forward, and manage to keep things moving in the right direction. Good support from the government in terms of, we've had access to the DBJ Innovation Grant. We've had other grants that have helped us to put our innovation into reality, to allow us to create a step to move forward. We have to create a niche and work that niche.
Given that you're in the business that you are, do you manufacture? Do you process anything?
Yes.
Well, did you use the productive input relief that the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce has for manufacturers?
Yes, we've used it.
So you avoided the duty and all those fees?
Yes, we use it, and we also farm, so we've used it as a farmer, the PIR as a farmer, and I know it's available to manufacturers also. So we have used it to bring in equipment.
JBDC works to ensure that every single Jamaican entrepreneur is afforded the opportunity to succeed. We understand that resilience is not only about one's ability to weather storms or respond to shocks in the marketplace. It's about building a business that is strong to the core, structured to endure challenges, and designed to seize opportunities for growth. Resilience also depends on the ability to adapt and evolve, which is why JBDC at JBDC, we speak about and we encourage a culture of continuous learning. At JBDC, we provide comprehensive support for MSMEs, enabling them to build on their own strength. From technical services to financial and strategic strengthening and market readiness programs, we focus on equipping entrepreneurs with the tools that they need to lay a solid foundation for sustainable growth. These days, we have to provide our learning for our entrepreneurs where they are, whenever they wish for it. And this is the way the world has gone. We exist in a global digital world. Digital transformation is no longer a nice-to-have thing for entrepreneurs. It's a need-to-have, it's a must-have. And it not only facilitates operational efficiencies, but it is a gateway for global trade in the marketplace that is largely digital.
Everything you do as a business, whether it's a service where you sell knowledge, or you sell a service that you do, or it's a product that you're creating, you must look to say, how can I export this? How can I make my market bigger?
Continue to be innovative, continue to be creative, and don't forget about being disruptive in the global market space.
The following is brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
I appeal to the young man and the young woman on the corner who is wanting a job but don't know where a job is, or may have gone for a job interview and was not successful, and then leaves with the opinion that there is no space for me in this growing economy. I need you. Your country needs you. Your economy needs you. The Caymanas Special Economic Zone needs you. You are a critical element in the growth of this country. And this administration, through the Heart Trust NSTA, we will find you, we will support you, we will assist you in getting trained and getting employed so that you can claim your share in the prosperity that Jamaica is experiencing.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
In our aspiration to achieve goals we've set, focus is needed. Also important, a clear vision and motivation along the way. So we offer that to you today with some ideas for vision boarding, a technique to help you bring your dreams to reality.
A mood board, ambition board, journey board, vision, or whatever you want to call it, is used to provide inspiration and motivation. They serve as reminders that you need to keep pushing and are quite helpful and very effective, especially for persons who struggle with procrastination. Co-founder of Mind Food International, Natasha Wright, has been vision boarding and conducting seminars for over 10 years. And she explains some of the things that should be considered before starting the vision boarding journey.
Vision is actually a mental picture of moving humanity forward. And so what we call vision boarding may not be in its truest sense, because vision, it encompasses helping other people. The vision board should look how you want it to look, but remember that we are human beings, so we do have that spiritual aspect, our physical aspect, our career, our family, so you want to have your finances. So you want to make sure that you have a little area or a slot on your board for these different areas of life. And so what you want to do is to find pictures, or you can use affirmation, you can find words, whether from the newspaper, magazine, it doesn't matter. Print them off, a quote, something that really represents who you want to be or what you want to attain, right? And you use those and you put them up there. Now, I like to tell people, it makes no sense you put something up there that you cannot emotionally connect to. Because if it means nothing, so for example, I'm not a car enthusiast. I'm not enthusiast. I'm not. That's just not me. So for me to put up a really nice car, yeah, I see it, I like it, but I mean, it really has to be something that I want. You need to make sure it's placed strategically. You cannot have a vision board and hide the vision board behind your fridge. Nobody's going to see that. It needs to be in that area that you must see it. I had a mentee, she did one after we had a discussion. She said she actually saw me talking about it on a program, and she said she placed it where she would rest her car keys when she got in from work. And when she's picking up the keys to leave the following morning, that's what she would see. Some persons, they put it in their bedroom, close to where the bed is, as soon as they get up. Well, there is no perfect time to do your vision boarding. You more than anyone else knows the mistakes, knows the things that you need to work on. I mean, naturally people would say you just use cartridge paper, use some kind of cardboard, or something that is durable enough for you to paste it, right? So you could put it on normal paper and paste it, but you wouldn't want it to deteriorate. Your vision board can be a screensaver. You can create a collage on your phone. Just remember, while you're putting up the nice pictures of the house and the car and the wonderful vacation, remember as well that there needs to be something on there that is going to touch other people's life in a more sustainable and positive way.
If you haven't created your vision board, take some time to start now. And remember that it must be holistic, covering every aspect of your life. Happy vision boarding!
According to the Jamaica Public Service Company, the average cost of electricity is $65 per kilowatt hour. Let's talk cooling. If you use a 12,000 BTU inverter air conditioning unit for 6 hours a day, you'll rack up 184 kilowatt hours by month's end. That's roughly $11,960 on your electricity bill. Now, if you're using a non-inverter unit for the same amount of time, you're looking at 214 kilowatt hours. That's about $13,910. Want to save money? Here's your energy tip. Use an inverter AC unit and use it less often. Cool smarter, not costlier.
Saving the life of a person who suffers a cardiac arrest is a heroic act almost all of us can do by learning how to perform cardiopulmonary resuscitation, or CPR. In these few remaining minutes of Jamaica Magazine, a trained CPR instructor demonstrates this procedure that can keep victims alive until professional help arrives.
Everyone clear. Press flashing button.
Clear everybody, I'm clear, you're clear.
Shock delivered.
Most emergency happen at home, so you're not really in an hospital. So knowing what to do will enhance the chances of saving life. So CPR is very, very, very important to start immediately. So once somebody collapses, the first step you must ensure the scene is safe. Now, depending on where you are, let's say it's in an office space, just by moving a chair, moving a table, you can make the scene safe. Now, once the scene is safe, the next step is to check for responsiveness. And checking for responsiveness, you're tapping the shoulder of the person, so you tap and shout, are you okay, are you okay? Now once you tap and shout and the person is not moving, they're not talking, they're unresponsive. Once they're unresponsive, the next step is to shout for help. Now you shout now loud for help because CPR is a long and tiring process. And you don't want to start CPR and nobody knows that you're there performing CPR. So you shout for help, somebody answer your call, and they say they've soon reached you. They're not there as yet. In that time, you should be checking for breathing. So you check for rise and fall of the chest and check for breathing simultaneously. Are you doing that for at least 5 seconds, no more than 10 seconds? Once help now arrive, you would then tell them to call the response team and get an AED machine. Christina, call the response team and get an AED machine. Now the AED machine is a device used to analyze and detect that abnormal rhythm of the heart. And that's where the AED machine comes in. Most persons will say call the police just in case of an emergency. But what we would teach you is to call the firefighters. Because the firefighters are trained in first aid, and they're trained in CPR. Now, let's say they don't bring the AED machine to you as yet. You then start giving compressions. Now, compressions is where you're compressing at the center of the chest, lower half of the breastbone. You're going at a depth of at least 2 inches or 5 centimeters. The rate is important. So you're going at a rate of 100 to 120 compressions per minute. You're giving 30 compressions followed by 2 breaths. And you're doing that for 5 cycles. So 30 compressions, 2 breaths, that's 1 cycle. 30 compressions, 2 breaths, that's 2. You're doing that for 5 cycles, which equal to 2 minutes of CPR. And then follow, you will give 2 breaths, which 1 breath lasts for 1 second. You're giving 2 breaths. Now, to know that your breaths are effective, you must see the rise and fall of the chest. And once the chest rise and fall, your breaths were effective, and then you go back to giving compressions. And that's CPR in a nutshell. Every second count in cardiac arrest. Now that theme is I think it's very fitting because you don't want to waste any time. Immediate care enhances a chance of survival, save life. And you don't want to delay help. So once you recognize the emergency, recognize someone has collapsed, you know immediately you want to start CPR.
Are you an entrepreneur producing an excellent Jamaican product or service? Did you know you can earn hard currency and more significant returns by exporting? Contact the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce to help propel your business along the export lane.
Everything you can produce, the Jamaicans overseas want it. We're not going to get rich by just bringing down the debt. We're going to get rich by exporting a lot more. So grow exports, create job opportunities, drive economic growth through exports to make Jamaica a richer and much more prosperous country.
Our half-hour journey through the pages of Jamaica Magazine ends right here for today. But please join us again tomorrow on this station for more news, features, and information you can use to live, work, raise families, do business, and of course, retire in paradise. In the meantime, visit our website, jis.gov.jm for this and other offerings. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. Till next time, take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.